Now, this concept and best practice has been widely adopted in tourism by the airline industry, by hotels, and even by rental car agencies. But it's still early days with tours activities and attractions, and it's only the savviest operators who are experimenting with this profit-boosting strategy. Hi there, Kelsey Toner here, the founder of Guest Focused Tour Business Coaching, where every day myself and our team of tour business coaches are helping you build a thriving, profitable tour business. Welcome to the next video in our series on maximizing your tour profits. Over the course of these 8 videos, I'm sharing insider tips and real-world best practices from our coaches on how you can maximize your bottom line. In this video, we're going to look at an underused profit-generating strategy, dynamic pricing. Dynamic pricing means adjusting your tour, activity, or experience prices based on fluctuations in demand. It allows you to capitalize on peak periods by charging higher rates without increasing operational costs. For example, hiking tours might charge premium rates during those sunny summer months when demand peaks, but those same tours could be offered during shoulder season for lower prices to try and stimulate demand and fill capacity. Or, as is the case for so many of us, weekends are when we have lots of demand and it's easy to fill up our tours, but through the week, it's a bit more of a struggle. So it makes sense to have higher prices on the weekend and lower prices during the week. But notice this does 2 things. The most obvious is that, yes, we increase the order value, right? The revenue per customer on those high demand weekend days. But the second thing that happens is we incentivize and we pull some of those folks who have more flexibility or who are more interested in joining the tour at a lower price to shift to those lower demand days. That helps us increase the total volume of sales while at the same time increasing the average order value. Now, this concept and best practice has been widely adopted in tourism by the airline industry, by hotels, and even by rental car agencies. But it's still early days with tours activities and attractions, and it's only the savviest operators who are experimenting with this profit-boosting strategy. So I want to say right off the bat that yield management and different dynamic pricing strategies can quickly get complex and overwhelming. And most of these more advanced tactics are really best suited to attractions, people doing large volume of turnover, and potentially operators who are really running businesses at scale. So let's keep things super simple for the time being. We're going to focus on just 2 simple tactics to help you boost your revenue without getting overwhelmed. I find the easiest way to think about dynamic pricing is to think rules-based pricing. And we're only going to recommend that you implement 2 rules. The first, date range rules, and the second, day of the week rules. But before we dive in and start making these rules, we need to start by examining a key question. When are your tours selling out? Let's think about what is happening if you are selling out a week in advance or a month in advance. What that means is that there is very likely a continuous stream of visitors who are looking to buy from you on that particular date, but they are unable to transact with you. You are losing money because you do not have additional availability when you are sold out. Think of this as a missed opportunity. Ideally, if you can match supply and demand as closely as possible, then in the perfect world, we would really be selling out our tours maybe an hour before the tour launch. This is maximizing that window of time that people can buy from us. So we need to understand when your tours are selling out. And hint, hint, if your tours are not selling out at all on any day of the week or in any season, then dynamic-based pricing does not make sense for you. Full stop. We have to make sure that you have at least some period of time when your demand is outstripping your supply. So with that caveat in mind, know that these rules probably will be different for different tour businesses. Just as a quick example, one of the operators in our coaching program has a huge spike in demand when the cruise ships come into town, and those cruise ships are coming in midweek. It's not actually the weekends when he is selling out. So let's go back to our 2 key rules. The first is that date-based rule. Quite simply, prices change during a given date range. Now, this covers both those shifts in seasonal demand, but also for predictable or reoccurring spikes in demand, for example, around holidays. If your boat rentals surge every July 4th weekend, it makes sense to increase your prices based on that specific date range. I know from some of my colleagues running tours down in Austin that every year around the South by Southwest Festival, there's a massive spike in visitors and they consistently sell out. This is a great opportunity to use that date range to increase your prices and do that same thing where if visitors are coming a little bit earlier or coming a little bit after the event, they can benefit from switching to a date where there is lower demand and you can increase your total revenue. So if our date range rule will cover seasonal fluctuations as well as spikes in demand for events and holidays, then our second rule is the day of the week rule. If we have a look at one of our coaching members, Torin and Alice, in their e-bike tours down in Asheville, they opted for a smaller variation, but still from Sunday to Thursday, you can join for $75. On Friday and Saturday, that'll cost you $79. And if we switch over to the Sunset Ranch in Hollywood, have a look at this. They have a pop-up that proudly proclaims with this beautiful AI-generated image, hey, there's a weekday discount. So let's go in and have a look at the Mulholland Trail tour. So when we go into their availability calendar, we can see this reflected right in their booking software. We see this reflected on Sunday, April 21st. The Mulholland Trail tour will cost us $100, but if we come down and we're able to join on Monday, $75. So why are these tour operators doing this? Doesn't this just add a lot of complexity to the business? No question, it's simpler to have a ticketing system where it's the same price no matter what day of the week, no matter what time of year. But the proof, my friends, is in the profits. The Sunset Ranch Hollywood reported a 41.4% increase in the total number of guests and a 16.2% increase in ticket revenue simply from implementing this dynamic pricing. Secondly, with modern booking software, these rules are more of a set it and forget it kind of thing. Now, we constantly want to be monitoring the performance. Are we still selling out? If so, perhaps we should continue to increase prices. That being said, the rules-based systems that you can set up inside booking softwares make this very, very easy. And of course, we can combine these two simple rules to see these dramatic results. If we have an increase of our prices by 10% during peak season, as well as an increase, let's say by 5% for your weekend rates, which always sell out, that can increase overall in your annual report revenue per customer, an increase of anywhere from 10 to 20% simply from those two rules interacting together will lift your total revenue in your company. Now, dynamic pricing done poorly can absolutely backfire and maybe even alienate some of your customers. So here are some potential pitfalls to avoid. First, avoid rapidly fluctuating your prices hourly or sometimes even daily, which can feel manipulative or even dishonest to some of your customers, especially if they don't understand the rationale. The key is finding the right balance where dynamic pricing feels fair and reasonable to your customers, and even a value add. Just like some of the examples we covered here today, everything is transparent and very clear that, hey, if you've got the flexibility to come through the week or join us for a shoulder season tour, that is the best value. Now, some of you might rightly be wondering, well, what price do I actually put on my tour sales page or in my floating book now button if I've got all kinds of different prices? The simple fix is two magical words: starting at. Simply show where your prices are starting at. When people open up your calendar or click into your availability, they're then going to see all the options presented, ideally in your booking software. So there you have it. Dynamic pricing offers a massive opportunity for even small and mid-sized tour operators to increase the profit in their business. Now look, this can feel overwhelming, and if that's the case and you'd like to talk to somebody, maybe an experienced tour business owner who could give you a couple pointers or give you some insider advice, feel free to reach out to us. You can book a call with us at guestfocus.com/book a call. It's a free 45-minute strategy call where you can hop on the horn with a guest focus coach. Look, before you go, let me know down below what has been your experience with dynamic pricing. What are some of your biggest fears or maybe anxieties about moving forward and implementing it? Other than that, if you got some value from this video, you know what would be extra special? If you could share it with a friend or some of your peers in the industry. Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you in the next profit boosting video coming soon.